Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're skipping the obvious routes. We're focusing on what seems like a pretty short drive, actually. Just under 25 miles between Hastings and Red Wing, Minnesota.
Yeah, you see that? Maybe 35 minutes on the GPS and think, okay, next.
Exactly. But for anyone listening who loves to, peel back the layers, this stretch is packed with history, beauty, just interesting stuff.
It really is. Think of this as our curated exploration. We want to go beyond just, oh, there's a river.
Right.
We want to dig into why things are there, what the stories are. It's for those of us who really get a kick out of discovering something new about a place.
Okay, so let's start where the drive starts. Hastings. It's what, about half an hour southeast of the Twin Cities?
Roughly, yeah. But it feels distinct, not just another suburb. And its location is key.
How so?
Well, it's right at this incredible meeting point. You've got the Mississippi, the Vermilion, and the St. Croix rivers all coming together right there.
Ah, okay. So, geographically, really significant.
Hugely significant, especially historically. Think about the transportation, the resources. That confluence made it a natural hub way back, vital for trade.
And when you drive into Hastings now, that big bridge is pretty hard to miss.
Oh, yeah, the Hastings Bridge, that tied arch design, it's quite impressive, a real landmark.
Tied arch, right.
And it sort of connects to the town's past, too. People still talk about the old Spiral Bridge it replaced.
Oh, the Spiral Bridge. I've heard of that.
Yeah, you can see nods to it around town. There's a mural in Oliver's Grove 1819 Park downtown.
Okay.
And Hastings actually has just one brewery, Spiral Brewery, named right after it. They've got photos inside.
That's cool. And just to be clear on the geography again,
yeah,
the bridge takes you over the Mississippi, but not quite into Wisconsin yet, right?
Correct. You land in Washington County, Minnesota. Still got to go a bit further west over the St. Croix to hit Wisconsin.
Gotcha. Okay, downtown Hastings itself, does it feel old?
It really does. You can sense the history. A lot of older buildings, nice architecture.
Yeah.
And the way the sidewalks are right at street level, it kind of encourages you to walk around.
Explore the shops.
Exactly. Antique stores, little gift shops. It's got that charm. And that park I mentioned, Oliver's Grove, 1819.
Yeah.
Besides the mural, that name actually points to the town's origins. It commemorates Lieutenant William G. Oliver arriving way back in 1819.
Wow, okay. Deep roots.
And
if you want a river view,
Levee Park is the spot. Right on the Mississippi. Great place to just, sit for a bit, watch the water.
Another view of the bridge, too, I imagine.
Yep, another good angle on the bridge. And in the summer, they have an amphitheater there. Sometimes there are shows, events.
Nice. Okay, let's talk food. Gotta eat.
All right.
Any spots that stand out in Hastings?
Well, there's the Lock and Dam Eatery. They got some buzz for doing those heated igloos or domes outside in the winter. Kind of unique.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
And then there's the Busted Nut Bar and Grill.
Yeah, okay. What's the story there?
Apparently, the name comes from an old tradition where people would just, crack peanuts and toss the shells on the floor.
Seriously?
Yeah. They don't do that anymore, though. But known for burgers. And sources say there are plenty of other good restaurants, too.
Right. Before we leave Hastings, Vermilion Falls Park. Waterfalls are always a draw.
Absolutely. Even smaller ones.
Yeah.
This park offers really nice views of the Vermilion River Falls. And it's interesting, it's right near these big grain elevators.
Kind of a contrast.
Exactly. Natural beauty meets industry. And here's a neat historical tie-in. There's still a mill operating near the falls today.
Oh, yeah.
And it's considered like a modern cousin to a mill that was making graham flour right there during the Grand Excursion back in 1854.
No way. Using the same river power, kind of?
Yeah, utilizing some of the same principles, just, modernized. It's a really tangible link back to that era.
Yeah.
Shows how that resource has been used continuously.
That's fascinating. And one more historical footnote near Hastings. Something about a utopian community.
Yes. Nieninger. Just a bit upstream. Founded in 1856 by this guy, Ignatius Donnelly. He was quite a character writer, farmer, politician.
A utopian dream.
That was the idea. It actually grew for a bit, maybe 200 people around 1858. But like a lot of those experiments, it
fizzle out.
Pretty much. Probably internal issues, economic pressures, The post office closed after 1885. There's nothing really left to see today, just a sort of ghost of an idea.
Reminder of roads not taken, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've set the stage in Hastings. Now let's actually get on the road, Route 61 south towards Redwing. That 24.9 miles. It's part of something bigger, right?
It is, yeah. This is a segment of the Great River Road, the Upper Mississippi section. It's a designated scenic byway.
Following the river.
Mostly, though it's worth pointing out, especially north of Hastings and Prescott, the road doesn't always hug the riverbank super closely.
Okay.
And the drive kind of splits where the St. Croix meets the Mississippi. Some people actually argue the St. Croix drive further north up towards Stillwater.
It may be more scenic.
Yeah, potentially. It's a designated wild and scenic river up there, so it's got that protection and natural beauty. But this Mississippi stretch has its own unique charm.
Right. Now, one place that comes up, though maybe requiring a little detour, is Pine Tree Apple Orchard. Sounds very autumnal.
It does, doesn't it? It's actually over towards White Bear Lake, so yeah, a bit off the direct path.
Okay.
But if you're into apples, farm stands, that whole vibe, it sounds like a really nice seasonal stop. It's a working farm, overlooks Pine Tree Lake. Pretty setting.
Picnic spot, wagon rides.
Yep, picnic tables, sometimes wagon rides depending on the season. And a farm store, of course. They mention apple donuts specifically, and apple syrup.
Ooh, apple donuts. Sold.
Yeah, you can apparently watch them sorting the apples, too, which could be kind of interesting.
Sounds idyllic.
Ah,
But are there any, caveats, things to know before you go?
yeah, a couple of practical points. First, it's not a pick-your-own place, so you can't just wander through the orchards. The trees are usually roped off.
Okay. Manage expectations.
Right. Second, it can get really busy, especially, peak fall weekends. Expect crowds.
Good to know.
And finally, pets aren't allowed. And there's been some mixed feedback, apparently, on things like ADA accessibility and general dog friendliness. So, lovely place, but maybe do a little extra research if those are concerns.
Okay, good tips. Another potential side trip, shifting gears a bit. Northfield Historical Society. This one has a bit more drama.
Oh, yeah. Wild West drama. Northfield is inland a bit, but it's famous for the first National Bank building.
The Jesse James robbery.
The very one. 1876. The Historical Society is right there in the original bank building.
Wow.
And they have amazing stuff. Local history exhibits, artifacts from the robbery. You can see the actual vault.
No way.
Yeah, and even the bank ledger. Apparently it still has bloodstains on it.
Whoa. Okay, that's intense.
It really brings it to life. They do tours, have a gift shop, and in September, during their defeat of Jesse James Day's festival, they actually reenact the robbery.
That sounds like quite the event. Definitely a detour for history buffs, especially that kind of history.
For sure.
Okay, let's steer back towards the river route itself. South of Hastings, heading towards Redwing. Frontenac State Park comes up. Sounds like a major highlight.
It absolutely is. Big time. It's about 10 miles or so before you hit Redwing, and it overlooks Lake Pepin, which is really just a wide part of the Mississippi.
Stunning views, I bet.
Incredible views, especially from the main feature, this huge limestone bluff. It's like 430 feet high. Gerard's Bluff.
Gerard's Bluff, okay.
Or sometimes called Point No Point.
Point no point. Why?
It's apparently an old riverboat captain name. From certain angles down on the water, it creates this optical illusion like the point disappears or shifts. Kind of neat.
Right.
And on top of the bluff, there's a natural limestone arch called Inyantiopa.
That sounds Native American.
It is. Dakota name means rock with opening.
It really speaks to the deep history here. And that history goes way back, doesn't it? Before Europeans.
Oh, centuries back. Millennia, even. There's evidence of Hopewell culture settlements and burial mounds here.
Hopewell.
Yeah, a major ancient Native American culture known for their earthworks. We're talking like 400 BCE to 300 CE.
Wow.
Later, the Dakota and Meskwaki people lived here.
Oh.
Father Hennepin was the first European to see it, documented it in 1680.
Okay.
Then the French built Fort Beauharnois in 1727. Trade post, exploration base.
The layers upon layers of history.
Exactly. And then, interestingly, the park actually surrounds the little town of Frontenac itself, which back in the 19th century was apparently quite a swanky resort town for the wealthy.
So you're literally walking through time as you hike around.
You really are. It's amazing.
And it's not just history, right? Plenty to do
Yeah.
there. Outdoorsy
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, tons. Camping, they have about 58 sites. Fishing in Lake Pepin is big walleye, pike, crappie, catfish.
Nice.
Winter, you've got sledding hills. There's a swimming beach at Sandpoint. And hiking, of course. About 13 miles of trails.
Do they maintain those in winter?
Yep. Groomed for cross-country skiing and snowmobiling when the snow's right.
Cool. And I heard something about birds.
Ah, yes. Big-time birding spot. Apparently, Frontenac has the highest number of recorded bird species of any Minnesota state park.
Get out. How many?
273 species.
Wow. Okay, definitely bring the binoculars.
Definitely.
All right, so after soaking in Frontenac, we finally roll into Redwing, the destination. Classic river town feel.
Very much so. Quintessential Mississippi town. And like Hastings, it has deep Native American roots. It's on the site of a former Dakota village.
And the name Redwing.
Comes from a line of Dakota chiefs who all use that name. Apparently, they carried a ceremonial swan's wing dyed red.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
The-
What's the big landmark there? Hastings has the bridge.
Redwing has Barn Bluff. You absolutely cannot miss it. This massive bluff just looms over the town.
Must see.
Definitely. People say go early, beat the crowds. You can hike up it. Trails lead to the top.
And the views?
Panoramic, the whole town, the river valley stretching out. Really worth the climb.
Okay. And Redwing is famous for pottery, right? Stoneware.
That's its big industrial claim to fame, the Redwing Stoneware Company. Operated from 1878 to 1967.
Crocks, jugs, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Super durable, often had those distinctive blue decorations. Very collectible now.
Is the factory still there?
The original building is. It's been repurposed into this cool shopping center called Pottery Place.
Oh, neat.
And get this. The grandson of the last company president actually started a new pottery business nearby, Redwing Potteries, Inc., keeping the tradition going in a way.
That's fantastic. Why was Redwing such a hub for pottery?
Good local clay, apparently, and skilled workers. It just took off, became a household name, really, across the Midwest for decades until, plastics and other materials started competing.
Right now, across the river from downtown, Trenton Island. Sounds like it has a bit of a reputation.
Hey, it did historically. Back during Prohibition, it was apparently the place to go for speakeasies. A bit wild.
A little bit of lawlessness across the water.
Something like that. It's much quieter now, though. Some bars, marinas, private cottages. More relaxed vibe.
Okay. What about getting active? Any trails accessible from Redwing?
Yes. The Cannon Valley Trail starts, or ends, right there.
Oh, the bike trail.
That's the one. It's a Rails to Trails project. Paved path runs about 20 miles along the Cannon River, all the way to Cannon Falls.
Nice. So if you brought bikes or maybe rented them back in Hastings like we mentioned.
Perfect opportunity for a scenic ride.
Absolutely. Okay. Fuel stop again. Redwing food and drink scene. Any must-tries?
Sounds like there are some good ones. Hanish Bakery and Coffee Shop gets mentioned a lot. Award-winning place for treats.
Bakery, always good.
And then there's Kelly's and the Redwing Brewery. Sounds like maybe a fun atmosphere. Pizza.
Bye.
For something classic. Bevs for shakes or malts. Old school soda fountain feel.
Love that.
And then across the river again, there's the Harbor Bar. Seems unique, Jamaican and local food.
Interesting combo.
Yeah. And known for beer-battered cheese curds. Plus it has a dock. You could literally pull up in a boat.
Huh. Perfect for a river town. Any parks in Redwing for just relaxing, maybe having that bakery treat?
Yep, several options. Bay Point Park is right down on the riverfront.
Okay.
Memorial Park, which is also called Soren's Park, is up higher. Great overlooks of the town and river. You can drive up to that one.
Convenient.
And Colville Park is another scenic spot, good for picnics. You could definitely grab stuff from Hanish Bakery and head there.
Sounds like a plan. Now, the official drive we're focusing on is Hastings to Redwing, but the Great River Road keeps going south, right? Towards Wabasha.
Yeah, Wabasha is the next main town downriver. It's definitely worth mentioning, even if it's technically past our endpoint for this deep dive.
And Wabasha have that movie connection?
It does. It's famous as the main filming location for Grumpy Old Men.
That's right.
They totally lean into it. There's an annual Grumpy Old Men festival, usually in February, and Slippery's Tavern there has memorabilia from the movie.
Fun bit of pop culture history.
Definitely.
And Wabasha also has something pretty significant related to wildlife.
Oh, absolutely. The National Eagle Center. It's a major facility right on the riverfront.
Eagles.
Bald eagles. They have outdoor observation decks where you can often see wild eagles, especially in winter. And inside, they have resident rescue eagles, birds that can't survive in the wild anymore.
And they do programs.
Yeah, live eagle programs. Really educational, fantastic place to learn about the eagles and their comeback along the Mississippi. Highly recommended.
Wow. Okay, so even though we technically stopped in Redwing, there's clearly more to explore just a bit further down the road.
Always more to explore on the Great River Road.
So wrapping this up, it really feels like that 25-mile drive between Hastings and Redwing is, well, way more than just 25 miles of road.
Absolutely. It's like a compressed journey through Minnesota history, through stunning natural landscapes, charming towns. You get a real sense of place.
Yeah, we definitely hit some of those aha moments, didn't we? The ghost of Ninninger, the Jesse James connection in Northfield, the pottery legacy, the movie trivia down in Wabasha.
Exactly. Surprising little stories tucked away.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? About all those other drives we take, the routes that seem familiar or maybe even boring.
Mm-hmm. What hidden layers are just off the highway? What connections are waiting if you just, look a little closer?
Yeah. So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is next time you're on a road trip, even a short one,
Mm-hmm.
keep that curiosity alive.
Definitely. See what you discover. Maybe even keep heading south from Redwing and see what else the Great River Road has to offer. There's always another story around the bend.